Cavs win by 31. They're showing the fans get off the buses this morning as they came back. Owen said he passed the buses this morning.
Yeah, like 4 or 5 different buses.
Isn't it amazing? So what, Dan, basically it's all expenses paid to have just a fun night in the city. Now, we caught wind that some people were upset with themselves that they didn't take advantage of, like you had a chance to sign up. Certain people did. It was a lot of partners. It was a lot of season ticket holders and a lot of employees, right? That could take advantage of this.
Right.
So I told you, I talked to so many people in Cleveland over the weekend that just thought it was over, just thought it was done. They weren't going to win. I'd be lying if I told you I was puffing my chest out about that. Would you have taken the bus ride to enemy territory? Enemy territory.
For Game 7?
All expenses paid, but that's one of the worst bus rides home. I mean, you really have to believe.
You
really have to believe to sign up for that.
I don't know. It is a Game 7. Like, I went to a closeout game against the Yankees. And that sucked leaving there. But it was still like, you got to go. It's an ALCS. If you get offered, you got to go.
It was at home.
Yeah.
It was also not a Game 7.
True.
I mean,
but it was a closeout. Sucked when they roll that stage out there.
If you have the opportunity, it's probably something you want to do.
Well, it turned into the best trip ever because the Detroit fans evacuated in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
It was a total takeover. So the people that did sign up are like documenting it. It's social media. Should have gone. But you know if that would have gone the other way, that would have been misery. The cameras would have been showing all those Cavs fans. And where would you have gone?
That's right.
Where would you have gone? You'd have been stuck.
It did end up being, it could not have ended up better because you win and you won by 31. So, like, a lot of, as you just said, if you go back and if you still were watching last night, if you're watching in the fourth quarter, basically it just became a Cavs game because everybody had left who weren't a Cavs fan. And so the Cavs are hitting shots and people are getting excited. And if you're watching, you go, what the hell's going on? Because there's a bunch of Cavs fans there. There's 25 buses, which, one, it's probably one of the finest moves I've ever seen an owner do. It was fantastic. Two, I did get a firsthand account of Game 5. I talked to somebody yesterday who went to Game 5, and, I mean, he was over the moon about it. And he's not an employee. I don't know if he's a season ticket holder, but I know he's not an employee. And he was over the moon about it, about how first class it was. You got the ticket. You got to go up there. Apparently, there's a place like very close that Dan Gilbert owns, like a building. Obviously, he owns a lot of buildings in Cleveland and in downtown Detroit.
Yeah, they were doing pep rallies before. I can't imagine what that was like after.
And he said it basically, you walked in the room and it was anything you wanted to have, and it was before and after the game. And so they came back. I mean, they came back this morning at 4 a.m. for crying out loud. So a lot of people were having a good time last night, and rightfully so. Ends up being the greatest time ever for a Cavs fan. But the alternative is you don't know they're going to win by 31 on the bus ride up there. But I still think it's something to behold. You know me. I know I wouldn't do it. I know me. I know I'd be terrified of the drive back, the sinking feeling back, being there with a bunch of Detroit fans losing their minds. I know me. You know me. I don't think I'd do it. Would you do it?
I'd be nervous. I think
but
I
it still
would.
Is a hell of an experience.
And me being the hoops junkie, I think you can't pass up. I couldn't pass up Game 7. I got to go. But man, would that be miserable if they lost? The good thing is they won. Now I don't think Dan's going to be doing this for MSG. Have you seen the get-in price? I mean,
is it $600 still, or has it gone up?
Dropped a little bit right now.
Oh, really? Okay.
And we don't have prices yet for the Cavs because they haven't officially listed them or whatever. We do know this, and we have heard from multiple people. The Cavs are doing everything they can legally to box out New York Knicks fans for, would it be Saturday night?
Yes.
They are doing everything they can. Saturday and Monday, unless...
Thursday, Saturday, Monday.
So, there's only so much you can do, right? And if a season ticket holder really wants to sell their tickets to Spike Lee directly, but online... The Cavs are doing everything they can. They do not want what happened in Philadelphia to happen to Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay, there's a couple things where if you just have a bunch of guys, like I don't want this to turn there. Okay, so going back to the 2016 World Series, there were a bunch of people go, whoa, wait a bleeping minute. You're a Cubs fan? Since when? Since when was this guy a Cubs fan? Since when was that guy a Cubs fan? I swear to God, there was a lot of people who I just never knew they were Cubs fans coming in, and now they were. I know Spike Lee's a Knicks fan. If Spike Lee is willing to give you so much over market price, fine. I'm serious. Go ahead and sell it to Spike Lee. But you don't want 10,000 Knicks fans doing bing bong in your lower bowl. I don't even know if they do bing bong anymore. But I don't want 10,000 Knicks fans doing that stuff in your lower bowl. That's what Spike Lee, he kind of goes along with the game in certain ways. But when it comes to everybody else, it's like, no, keep them out of there. Like, is Jerry Ferrara coming on yet? Do we know?
We exchanged a nice
so that's
series.
a no. So don't sell your tickets to Jerry Ferrara.
We exchanged a nice series of texts.
Yeah, that's simple.
If he comes on the show,
Sell your tickets, yeah. But that sounds like he's deciding he doesn't want to come on. Is that it? Turtle doesn't want to come on?
He's feeling pretty good about the Knicks. So you can't tell him anything right now. They are very cocky.
Well, he can come on and be cocky all he wants, but if he doesn't come on, then don't sell him the tickets. Don't sell Turtle your tickets. Fine.
Don't sell Turtle
that's an official show stance.
Title that video, Joey. Don't sell Turtle from Entourage
Don't sell Turtle the tickets. Don't do it. And at Jerry Ferrara on it while you do it, just because. Still a good show. He was still good in that show. I'm not going to take that away from him.
Our producer, who is not in the age range of somebody who
loves
is around.
Turtle.
His dad put him on the show. He says he's seen it like 12 times.
Yeah.
I could quote that show by heart. It's the best. You can't quote any of it on the radio, but it's the best.
It's basically the equivalent of Andy or Jeff and Andy getting excited that like Otis from Andy Griffith would come in here. Or something like that.
Joey, John, were you conceived during that show? Is that possible?
No. That show came out in 2005.
Do you know the story behind your conception? I know the story behind mine.
I don't. My parents are no longer together, so I never asked.
Oh, I think that'd be a great story to go over if your parents weren't together.
Why don't you book them on separate days?
They were together at least once. We know that. Don't you have a brother or a sister?
That's all it takes.
Yeah, I have a younger sister.
Okay, they were together at least twice. Congratulations on all their success. So, speaking of success, I'm going to say this, and you're going to have to hold me to it. Because I don't know, like tomorrow, you will have played 4 games in 7 days. Now you're playing 5 games in 9 days. Like, there's a lot of basketball that you're playing, and the Knicks have just been sitting around. Now, you could tell me that maybe the Knicks are going to get rusty. I'd love to hear that. That'd be fine because they sat around. Maybe it's a bad matchup. Who knows? Let me tell you this. You put this team together to get here. To me, I feel free this morning. To me, the season's already a success. Now, you can don't take that the wrong way to think that I'm already like, okay, we've had our fun and now we're going to go out there and get drilled. No, that's not what I'm pointing out. And Joey, don't do it like that because I know Joey will want to do it like that or somebody else will want Joey to do it like that. That's not it. But what this all was about was getting what the moves were. If I'm just looking at the moves, all right, you want to go as far as you can. Cavs fans want to go as far as you possibly can.
Now we got to ask the question.
But I think the season is now
question.
officially a success. You're one of the 4 best teams in all the NBA. You have one of the smallest teams in all the NBA with your backcourt there. Your number 1 is Donovan Mitchell. I'm sorry. This is a successful. I'm not sorry. This is a successful season. How is this not successful?
I will stop short. I'm loving that they moved on. I didn't love the fact it took 14 games and you're relying as much as you are on a 36-year-old. With that said, like I am so pumped for this series. I am so ecstatic we're in the Eastern Conference Finals. I also know that if they lose in 4 or 5 games, it's not going to feel like a success at all, and we are going to have big questions.
I thought about it last night, and I thought about it this morning, and I said I'm going to say it in the 7 o'clock segment because I wanted to make sure I meant it when I said it, and I gave gave myself as many chances as I could to back out. Who's the number 1 on the Knicks? Is it Jalen Brunson?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, now a 2-time MVP after the weekend, and Victor Wembanyama, right? That's 3 guys. Your guy's Donovan Mitchell. That's 4 of the best players in the NBA. You're establishing you're one of the 4 best teams in the NBA. I'm sorry, this is a successful season. I would love it to end up in an NBA championship. Obviously, that would be the most successful of seasons, but you cannot tell me it's not a successful season. They started out 17-16. People were wanting the coach fired. People were wanting people traded. People were wondering about Donovan. You went out, you made a bold move for James Harden. Anytime you make a move like that, ask anybody. It takes time to gel. You got to the Eastern Conference Finals. Now we can kind of calm down and see where it goes. And if they win this, obviously, you better say it's a successful season because I think that this has been a success now. You're one of the 4 best teams in all the NBA. All right? You're one of the 4 best teams. I know you're one of the most expensive teams just because we see it in baseball. just because you spend all the money doesn't mean you can just buy a championship. Somebody's going to stand ahead of you, or somebody's going to stand in front of you. So I think that you have to be honest with each other, not taking the emotion out of it. Seeing what they did, it's a successful season. And everybody should remain calm about what happens. And I know that's saying that I'm not worried about tomorrow night. I would just not pick them to win tomorrow night because one team's been sitting around waiting on them and practicing and getting their rest, and the Cavaliers have been in a dogfight of a series against the Detroit Pistons. I think they'll probably use tomorrow I want them to win, but I think they'll probably use a lot of tomorrow to learn about the New York Knicks. Frankly, that's how I stand on it. And if you think that's me pussyfooting around the situation, I got to tell you guys, that's just me being brutally honest about all this stuff. They're a fantastic team. They're in the Final Four, what you would call the Final Four of the NBA. They're one of the 4 best teams. Tomorrow might not go our way. I'll focus on that tomorrow. I still look at this season as a successful season now because of what they just accomplished last night. The 30-year-old Sam Merrill on playing basketball every other day. Sam Merrill scored 23 points in 25 minutes last night. He was fantastic.
He opened everything up. Honestly, him hitting those shots opened everything up, gave him that spacing, and then it's no surprise. It's the one thing I totally agreed with Stan Van yesterday. That opened up the big men being able to get to the basket with ease.
Did you like that shot he took from Usher Thompson?
I like how he responded to it, honestly.
That looked like Steve Atwater and Christian Okoye. I was like, I don't know if I've ever seen anything like that in the NBA.
You'd be surprised to know.
In a playoff game.
You'd be surprised to know, I guess, J.B. Bickerstaff complained about that call. So
really?
Yeah, he went and talked to the official about it.
He said he wasn't set.
The mild-mannered J.B. Bickerstaff, who normally he doesn't fashion himself as somebody who whines about calls, so that was a surprise to see him object to that one.
So I'm saying that this season has already been a success, and let me tell you why. It's not an emotional thing. Let me ask you, and I hate to do this. I want to be positive about everything. What happened last night was outstanding. It was a celebration, basically, of a fourth quarter with 25 buses of people at home watching the game. I mean, it was fantastic. A lot of people might just turn it off and went to bed because they just knew that this was going to go our way, and that was it. They ended up winning the game by 31. The reason I think it's a success, if this series doesn't go your way, what are you going to say, Anthony? What are you going to say to people who say to blow the whole thing up if this series doesn't go our way?
I have to see how this looks. I mean, seriously.
I understand.
It does matter because you're objectively measuring where you are against teams that you thought you were on the same playing field as. And the Knicks were one of those teams at the start of the year. They had just fired their coach, right? So they had made their sweeping move. We fired our coach a few years ago. Both teams have kind of maxed out their assets to this point. Yeah. Like both teams have gone all in. So now it's time to see, like, where are you? Like, I don't come into this series thinking, like, the Cavs have no shot. I know right now because they struggled in the 2 series and the Knicks are riding high, I think everybody is prisoner of the moment on that. Like, I think we match up in certain areas. I think we match up well against the Knicks. And I think the Cavs have shown through 2 grueling series that they have matched the physicality of 2 teams that everybody thought were more, including me, were more physical than us. And the Knicks, it's like, here's the next installment. I do think, like, Jalen Brunson is going to be targeted in 100 screen and rolls in every game. Like, that is going to be a huge source of where the Cavs are going to try to find their offense. Karl Anthony Towns, step right up. How are you going to defend the pick and roll? And then that battle in the paint. Guys, do you think that Evan Mobley and Jared Allen have passed some tests here in the postseason when it comes to the physicality? I think they have.
I think they have as well.
I think they have. We haven't talked much about Evan Mobley today. I mean, Evan Mobley.
Because Friday night was listless, and had we had to react to Friday night, who knows what type of mood we'd be in. But Friday night, it's as if it didn't even exist.
Right.
Because of what happened last night.
Lost in history. Evan Mobley showed me some signs that he is getting better. He didn't make the leap. He's not Giannis. He's not Kevin Garnett. Whatever player you decided to compare him to because you got overly excited about him, that didn't happen this year. But are you not seeing him calmly step into some of these threes and then be a terror at times defensively?
Well, the one he hit with the shot clock evaporating last night. I mean, I think he's more confident as a shooter, as a scorer.
What about some of these?
And I know that he has some dud of nights. He had a dud of a night in this series as well. But I think he's more confident than he's been.
But what about some of these rim-rattling dunks that he has had where he is just going after the opposing team and throwing down like that? That's an Evan Mobley I didn't really see.
Well, that's why I'm saying
before.
it, though. Again, if things don't go our way, what am I going to be shouting from the rooftops? Had they lost last night? I mean, I always, when it comes to like make or break games, it's always like, what do I do if they lose? What do I do if they win? What are the things that we already know that we're going to do if they lose? And I have it written down right here. Time to break it up. Who do you trade? Who is most at fault? Atkinson, is this enough? Like, worst loss ever, collapse. That's like bad things. LeBron, time for LeBron. LeBron will always be a conversation until he's officially done. He'll be a conversation. I can't avoid that. Giannis, I think that conversation changes, though. After this win, I think that changes. Seeing the way they are, like I think that I can get calmer heads to prevail after what happened last night, where now you get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Like, hey, if they get blown out by 20 in every single game, maybe I'm going to have to walk these comments back. But I'm not. They're not going to do that. And I think that it's going to be a tough series. You're not favored in the series, but I think it's going to be a tough one. But say you end up losing the series in 6 or 7 games. What am I going to do? Come on the radio and say that the whole thing needs to be blown up? No. And I don't think that that's a measured response. So I have to look at myself now and hold myself accountable to it. Because if they would have lost last night, it's like, okay, fine. Donovan isn't Donovan. James isn't James for the little amount of time we've had him. Evan isn't going to work out this, that, and the other. And I do believe the difference in all this is getting to where they set their bar. They set their bar at the Eastern Conference Finals. They're one of the 4 best teams in all the NBA. And now I can, even if it doesn't go our way, I can buy a little bit of time and go, all right, give me an off season. Let's gel this thing even more here with James Harden. There's going to be moves that need to be made. Obviously, there's going to be conversations about LeBron. But let's not lose our minds here. And that, to me, is the difference. If they had lost that game last night, I certainly believe that a lot of people are getting ready to go back to 20-win land again and to blow the whole thing up. Now you don't have to do or talk about any of that stuff. And to say any of it, like I pull back even envisioning it because of how much they won by last night and how much I want to celebrate it. But it's a quick turnaround to the Knicks series.
They almost you don't get any time to do that in these series.
It's a quick turnaround to the Knicks series, so I have to hold myself accountable and say, I'm going to tell you right now at the outset of the Knicks series coming up tomorrow, if it doesn't go our way, I don't think I'm going to be over here screaming and yelling from the rafters to tell everybody that everybody needs to go. I'm not going to say what I don't believe, and I don't believe it.
Yeah, now, I again, let's see how it plays out. I have a positive outlook on the series. If I was being honest, I'd pick the Knicks, right? Like, I do think the Knicks are a little better in some areas.
But you're allowed to be a fan, and you're allowed to look at that way.
But by the time that game starts tomorrow, I'm going to be 100% all in. I'm going to be decked out. I'm going to be going nuts, and I'm going to be truly excited that my team is in the Eastern Conference Finals. And I don't think there's a big gap between the Knicks and nor did I think that at the start of the playoffs. I mean, that was one of my big cases for the Cavs making a deep run. They are now checking that off. They are making a deep run. This is only the 3rd time in franchise history without LeBron they've been to the Eastern Conference Finals, and only the 2nd time in the 4-series era when they expanded the playoffs. So this is exciting times, and I think they got a shot. And if Donovan Mitchell does to the Knicks what I've seen him do at MSG over the years, this is going to be a phenomenal matchup. It's going to be a phenomenal storyline. Remember, he was supposed to be a Knick, and instead they end up with Jalen Brunson. Mm-hmm. Brunson has outplayed Donovan Mitchell twice in the playoffs, once on the Dallas Mavericks and once on the New York Knicks. That is an awesome, awesome matchup. I can't wait. That is going to be what's going to be ESPN, ABC, right? Throughout.
Yes.
So Mike Breen
is
more
prime.
A Knicks announcer, a fair Knicks announcer, by the way. I'm not going to be worried about getting homered like I think we were. More on that coming up in Lima Likes, earlier in the week, Game 6. But there are going to be so many awesome storylines with these two teams that I am so pumped for the series. But if it goes like 4 games or 5 games and it looks like you're not in their class, I think they still could be blowing things up. I do.
I can't see it going that way. Like, I don't know how great tomorrow's going to be, but I don't think it's going to go that way. I think that there's good matchups here. Karl Anthony Towns, this is going to be the biggest challenge to Evan Mobley. If you're not going to be the Kevin Garnett type of player, then I think that Karl-Anthony Towns, while it's been a little easier for the Knicks than we thought it was going to be, I'll ask Justin Termini about this coming up at 9 o'clock. I don't think that he's had to deal with a guy like Evan Mobley. I think Evan Mobley coming out there to guard him will make a big difference for this team. What you say about Jalen Brunson is absolutely right. I'm not trying to take the air out of it. I understand that I'll have to answer for it. But I look at it and go, what was, if things don't go well, what's the worst thing that could possibly happen? We're not, and you think about the accomplishment of what you just said. This is the first time they made the Eastern Conference Finals since 2018. This is the first time. How many times have they made the Eastern Conference Finals altogether without LeBron?
Yeah, 3.
You said 3 times, and this is the first time since. So it's not about a LeBron conversation as much as it is there is a future. And the future is where you have an owner that's willing to make those moves. The general manager, I think there's been pressure on him, but I'll defend him over these moves. I think there's been a lot to be said and a lot to go against, even, because people like their homegrown talent, and it felt like some of these guys that they let go of were homegrown. And some of these guys ended up having a little bit better careers than we thought that they were going to have. But what they did is something that it needs to be commended, where they decided that they were going to go all in and try to get us to a level that we haven't seen since before LeBron in a bygone era. And let's call it what it is. When you were in a different arena, for crying out loud, out in Richfield. So that deserves to be looked at with a lot of respect. And I don't think I just want to go away from it all if it doesn't go our way in a 2-week series when they spent 5 years putting this thing together. Because there's really no tomorrow. If anybody decides to go away from this core right now, you're talking about a 20-win basketball team again. And with the way that it's set up now, where it's going to be set up, which is it's going to be convoluted, but with the way that the lottery is about to be set up, I can't just guarantee you the best shot at the number one pick over more. I can't do those things anymore.
I think part of the reason you're being so protective of this, and you keep bringing up that this will be a 20-win team if this thing goes south.
Well, if they blow everything up,
I don't think Dan is. I think it's a pivot. I don't think it's a blow up. I don't think they're going to trade all their best players for a bunch of draft picks and start over. No, I don't think they're doing that at all. I think
so. Who are they going to trade for?
I think they're big game hunting if this doesn't go their way. And we'll have that conversation when the season's over. Yeah. But I think Giannis is still going to be someone they talk about. Hell, they could talk about Kawhi, Kevin Durant. Like they might try to pry and see what's going on with Devin Booker. Like there are a bunch of different things that they could talk about. I don't
Who's
think
Devin Booker play for?
The Suns. I don't think they are going to strip away everything.
They're going to be able to get Devin Booker away from the Suns?
I've seen enemies go
okay.
there. Our president was just in China. Right. Like, I think all sorts of conversations can happen.
216-474-0092. But without putting carts before horses here, I know we're talking a lot about big picture stuff. I believe that this season has already been successful for the reasons that I just played it out. And I know that this is a Jekyll and Hyde team, and they can make me look like a fool tomorrow, and I don't know how well tomorrow's going to go. So I might have to take it on the chin on Wednesday morning. But I still think that they're going to be right there in the thick of this series, and they can make things go their way against the New York Knicks. But going back to tomorrow, I think, again, it's a little bit more of a relief just because you saw them when they won in Game 5. That was the most confident I've seen Cavs fans all year.
Yes.
Friday morning.
100%.
Without a doubt. When they won, or Thursday morning, when they won Game 5, going into after Thursday morning, going into Friday morning, I've never seen Cavs fans more confident this year. And had we had to do a show on Saturday, maybe it would have been different. Maybe I would have been doing it under the desk.
I am so glad we didn't have to do a show.
I don't have to act like that show exists, because the only time I've done shows now this week has been when the Cavs have done well. So I don't got to worry about any of that stuff. And to me, yes, there is that one blip in the radar where they played like garbage back on Friday, but then they come by and they look fantastic and they squeeze out the Pistons yesterday. So there should be a lot of confidence going into this series, not a just give them hell type of thing, but it's some confidence going into the series, because I do think it could be a good matchup. I just don't know how tomorrow's going to go for us, but I'll leave that to tomorrow morning. That's where I'll go. That's where I'll put it.
Yeah, they're 7.5-point dogs for tomorrow. So, nobody's going to give you a shot. Very few people are going to pick you. Hey, I think tomorrow's going to be a weird house money game for me. And I know that sounds strange.
Well, if you come away with a win on that one,
Finals,
because it puts fans in the best.
I wouldn't be surprised if they go out and shoot 50 threes and just say, hey, if we make our threes, we have a chance to win at MSG.
Well, okay, because at first I'm like, well, you got to have a game plan. But when you just said that, it's like, okay, I could see something like that. If you win, I think that Wednesday becomes a wild show, and it feels like you got away with robbing a bank.
Oh.
But even if it doesn't go your way, as long as we get some to learn from, I still think that this is going to be a good series, a tough series. I think it's a series that you can win. And based on what they've done already, I think it's been a fabulous season now, even considering there's been a lot of naysayers going on, a lot of people questioning them. And considering the history, they've had to answer that. And I think they just did last night.